Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
I'm Cynthia.
I'm Alison.
And we have a combined 55 years of experience working with children, families, and experts in early education.
We are not random influencers.
No, we are not. Whether you are new or have been our podcast peeps since 2018, we are thrilled you found us. Hi, preschool peeps.
Hi, peeps.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Happy Monday.
Yeah.
I haven't said happy Monday in a couple episodes.
Oh, yeah. Well, happy Monday. Indeed.
Happy Monday, folks.
Yeah.
When is I'm looking at the date that this is releasing.
This is on a holiday.
This might be a holiday. I
think it's on Martin Luther King Day.
I think let me look. Yes, it is. This is releasing on Martin Luther King. I hope that people do come and listen, though, especially those of you who work with infants and toddlers. Not that this doesn't impact everybody, it does.
Right.
But we have learned that people really enjoy when we aim some of our episodes more toward infants and toddlers, though everyone should be here to listen to this. Because if you work with or are raising older children, you have to know what they came from.
Yes.
You have to know what they were doing before. What sorts of aspects of life were they testing before you knew them? And so I believe we've talked about the theory we're going to talk about in the past, but we're going to talk about it from a slightly different angle. So stay tuned, everybody. First, we have to shout some places out.
I'm excited about today's shout out.
Are more excited than usual?
I'm always excited about shout outs, but this one, I don't know, because we're shouting out Luxembourg.
That's new.
And I don't think they've ever been on our list before.
That is new,
and I'm
I
super
think.
excited. Okay.
I'm excited that people in Luxembourg have found us.
Yes.
My goodness. Hello.
Yes. Hello, everybody from Luxembourg.
Seriously.
I love it.
My goodness. Thank you for
Absolutely
being among our listeners around the world.
Yes. We're also shouting out Richmond, Virginia, which also excites me because I have friends that live down there. Hi, everybody. My high school friends live down there.
That's nice.
It's nice, right? They're all Jersey transplants down there.
I've been to Richmond.
And they try to get me to move down there. I'm like, I don't want to move. Like, I don't want the high school to be down there.
Yeah.
I can move to Virginia, but
there are some areas of Virginia that I love.
Oh, it's so beautiful there.
Oh, my gosh. I love certain areas.
It is so beautiful.
Richmond, I enjoyed Richmond when I went.
Yeah.
Did a lot of historic kind of things when I was there.
Which is cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
You know, but I don't know if I want to move in with the high school people. We've graduated.
I get it. Listen, if I see somebody in a store who I think I might have went to high school with, I duck around the corner.
I go down the other aisle. Yes.
And if you are somebody who I went to high school with and you're listening to this, it's not about you personally. Don't take it personal.
It's not about you. Hi, people.
There are people who I have like these sort of vague connections on Facebook.
Yes.
And if I'm connected with you, it's because I want to be connected with you.
Correct.
Believe you
if
me.
I'm connected with you on Facebook, we're good.
Yeah. Otherwise
not.
maybe I would like to be connected with you. Who knows?
Yes.
But no offense, everybody. But no, yeah, I do duck around the corner.
I do that too.
I'm sure they do the same thing when they see me.
Yes, they do.
So we're here today to talk about a theory, one of my favorite theories to talk about. It's from a theorist named Eric Erikson, whose theories were really big in the 1960s, and I'm sure I've mentioned this in the past. Eric Erikson is why we have like the phrase identity crisis. People are going through an identity crisis thanks to Eric Erikson, because he talked about how we develop our identity.
Yes.
His theory is the stages of psychosocial development and identity. He's also why we have a debate that we're going to talk about today. It's because of Eric Erikson. And his theories were in the 60s. You can go look him up. Look him up on YouTube and stuff.
Not that far away.
Not that long
ago.
Well, kind of long ago. Not that far ago. Long away and far ago or something.
Well, because some of the theorists are from very long ago.
Yeah. Right.
This
like the
one not
1930s. This is more the 1960s.
Yeah.
So Eric Erikson taught multiple stages of psychosocial development. They go through the whole life. You can look them up somewhere. Maybe they may even be on our website. I may have put them there in the past.
Yeah.
And the one that we're focusing on today is the first stage, birth to about 1.5 years old, when children are testing trust versus mistrust. And trust is for everybody to know about, regardless of the age of your children or those you work with, because it's the foundation for all relationship and learning. Right. People need to trust in order to be in connection with you, and learning comes from connection. That building of trust, that understanding I can trust the world to help care for me, and I can trust the people in the world, starts birth to 1.5. And we all experience both trust and mistrust. We need that stage of development to resolve with more trust than mistrust in order for children to move on to the next stage. Eric Erikson also taught that if children develop a sense of trust in the people and world around them, they develop a basic part of their identity called hope. How pretty is that?
That's pretty.
Right?
Yes.
So if you want to be someone who has a foundation of hope within you, it's because you experienced more trust. If you're thinking, I don't have a lot of hope, it may be your early childhood. You experienced more mistrust than trust. Yeah.
I was just thinking that. I was like, I don't know if I have a lot of hope sometimes.
Haven't you met people who are just it seems like inborn hopeful, optimistic and hopeful?
I'm always jealous of those kind of people that could spin things that way. Because I am not that way, and I've been told that I can be kind of more negative about things.
I have learned to be more that way. You can learn it.
Yes.
I'm
way better than I used to be.
I learned through the school, what my husband would call the school of hard knocks, how to look for the positive and spin things through hope, because that's who he is.
Yes.
So at any rate, we're talking about this in relation to those infants, because it is so basic to all future relationships and learning throughout our lives. And I was recently facilitating professional development and had a most interesting thing happen. I explained that we have the debate in our society over whether you go to the crying child in the crib or let them cry it out because of Eric Erikson.
Right.
Eric Erikson said the children need to learn trust. They need to learn that they can trust us to care for their needs, their basic needs. Right. Children in the infant year and a half get you to care for their basic needs by crying. That's what they do. They're hungry, they cry. They're uncomfortable because their diaper needs to be changed, they cry. Yeah. They're overtired, they cry. And so people took this theory of Erikson's and said, well, if they're expressing a need through crying and I don't go fill that need, then they're not going to trust. Right? And so people started to say, no, don't let them cry it out. You can go to the child who's crying, comfort them, teach them self-soothing, help soothe them, and help get them to sleep. Right. That's how they learn to trust. So we've got these two camps still in our society. The people who go to the crying child in the crib and the people who don't. Yeah. And what was interesting to me in this professional development session was that it fell along cultural lines. A conversation started. I assumed nothing. Right. A conversation started and people started to talk about, in my culture, we never go to the crying child in the crib. And other people started to say, well, I come from a different kind of culture where we always go to the crying child in the crib. And it was interesting to me that it fell along cultural lines.
Right, because I think it would have fallen along generational lines. And I'm saying this because my mother and that generation,
it's true,
who are now grandparents in this world, will tell someone like my brother who has 3 children, you're spoiling them by carrying them around when they're crying. And there is this notion in that generation that if you are constantly attending to them cry, you have to let them cry it out. You're spoiling them. Every time they want to be picked up, they'll just cry now. I'm like, but maybe there's a need for them to be picked up, right? Like
maybe they need to connect with you.
They need to connect with you. And
it's part of trust and relationship.
But I'm telling you that I still hear it to this day from my mother's generation.
Yes. And I also want to say, for the whole world to hear, you can't spoil a child. You can't spoil a child. Yeah. You can't spoil a child. You're not ruining a child by giving them love.
Yes.
And I said it in the professional development session. Someone said something about spoiling them. And I said, you can't, spoil means ruin.
Right.
You can't ruin a child by giving them love. And that stopped. Everybody paused for a second when I said that.
Right. Because that's what it is. It's love. You're loving your baby.
You can spoil milk.
Yes.
You can spoil meat.
Yeah.
You cannot ruin a child
by
loving that child. I'm sorry, but you can't.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. The more love and connection they get, the more they realize they have value, that they can depend on things and people, that they matter to the world. You can't spoil a child. It just irks me when I hear people still say that.
I know, but I'm telling you,
it's now this episode is releasing in 2026.
I know, I'm just saying.
And we're still saying that. Look, I'm getting the Zoom thumbs up. No Zoom, no thumbs up to you can spoil a child. You cannot spoil a child.
But I feel like if my mother's generation are the grandparents now, and then you have these new parents who don't know
yeah.
because they're new parents, do they then think the same way? Because they're being taught by their mother, and you're like, oh, well, my mom did,
I don't
but
know.
I don't know. And that kind of worries me that now there's another generation that's going to believe that.
Well, there is so it's cultural, right?
I know,
So,
yeah.
So one of the things that we want to do is respect different cultures. And so I'm not going to tell anyone their culture is
Right.
wrong.
Not wrong.
I'm just going to teach things like you can't spoil a child by
Right.
giving them love, and let
Yeah.
that hang in the air.
Just let it hang there.
Hang in the air, because people tend to do what is cultural for them. And I
Right.
completely get if that's your culture, then
Yeah.
that's what you do.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you do. It was interesting to me that it fell along cultural lines, not because the cultures disagreed, but because there was no consideration being taken in the conversation happening in my session for the fact that the children also come from a culture. So everyone was doing they were
Okay.
doing the my culture, right? They were
Right.
saying in my culture, in my culture. Well, in my culture, in my culture.
Yeah.
And there's not one person who said, what about the children's culture?
the
What do we do
children's
about
culture?
that?
Yeah.
Until I said it.
Yeah.
Until I said, well, the children also come from a culture. What do we do about that? Again, it silenced
Yeah.
the group.
Yeah.
I said there are families, if you're all teaching us all that this is still falling heavily among cultural lines, then what do we do about the fact that these children come from a culture that may be different from mine?
Right.
What do we do?
What do we do?
Right? So I may have these long held, deeply steeped cultural beliefs that may even be based on research.
Correct. Yeah.
But the child comes from a culture where different things are done at home. The child's used to a different approach at home.
Right.
What do I do as an
What do I
early
do?
educator?
Yeah.
What do I do? What do you think, Allison?
I think it's very hard, right? Because you don't want to go against someone's culture.
I really don't. I really do not want to send a message home to the adults either that your culture is not
It's
legitimate.
not right. Yeah, it's not wrong, or it's wrong. Like
Yeah.
it's a very thin line there, right? Of what we do versus
I mean, there are some things that we may have to say to families, and this isn't one of them, by the way. I want to start out by saying this is not one of them.
Right.
There are some things where we have to say to families, well, I'm going to teach your child how to do this because in a group setting like this, they're going to need to be able to
Right.
feed themselves.
correct.
So in
Yes.
some cultures, they feed their children longer than in other
Yes.
cultures. And I've said to families, what you do at home
Right.
is separate from this discussion.
Right.
We have groups of children here, and because we have such a large group and your child is going to be hungry, we want to be sure that they know how to feed themselves.
Right.
But they can learn that we do that in school. We don't do that at home. They can learn that.
Right.
So families are usually cool with that.
Yes.
But
that's fine.
sleeping is something different, I think. For sleeping, my instincts tell me to teach all of the families what research says, and then go to each individual family
and then individually
and
do
say,
it.
how would you like me to handle it if your child is crying in the crib? What do you do at home?
Right, because I think
But I think there has to be teaching.
there has to be a conversation.
Yeah.
Right. I think there has to be a conversation because I remember when I worked with infants, there was a family that was like, just put them in the crib and let them cry themselves to sleep. Which I was like, well, no, I can rock them. But that's what they preferred.
Right.
Even after telling them, like, here's the research.
Right.
But ultimately, it's their child, right? So I can't always go against that.
No, I mean, I could say to
So
the family.
I remember putting the baby in the crib and then being really sad that that's what it was. And I would stand nearby, or sometimes, but can I really go against what their family believes?
Can we
Right?
compromise with the family? Can we
Right.
Can we go to a family and say, I'd like to find a middle ground if we can?
Right.
Like, can I be near the crib with my hand on
Yeah,
the baby?
I used to be near the crib.
Can I
Sometimes
hold your
would
child's
rock-
hand?
I would rock the crib a little bit just so they knew I was there. Can I? Yeah.
Yeah, but I
hold their-
really
like,
don't like that violently
I know.
rocking of cribs that I've
No,
seen
I wouldn't
happen.
do it
I've seen
violently.
people.
Yeah, I've seen people violently.
I've seen
do it.
people
I-
rocking cribs so hard to get a child to sleep that
Yeah.
I feel like if the child's going to get shaken baby syndrome. What are you doing?
No, I wouldn't do it that way. But like, I've seen
Instead
people
of
do it that
rocking
way,
the
so
crib, put your hand on the child's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
You know, if we
don't
say
know.
to families, I understand you don't want me to pick your child up out of the crib. Totally get it.
I get it.
Would it be okay to put my hand on your child's leg
Yeah.
or back
Yeah.
so that they know I'm there? Would that
Yeah.
be okay with you? I think people tend to want a middle ground,
Right.
don't you?
I would.
I don't know.
But
This
I-
is a
but
very
what would,
sticky
what would
thing.
you do if they said, no, I don't
Oh.
want you to hold their hand?
I don't know. It's a very sticky,
know.
sticky thing.
I know.
I have to. I think I would probably try and respect their culture up to a certain point. Let me move these tissues. We're sorry, folks. We're wrestling with my cat.
Yeah,
If you
and
were
it's
here,
our first time
you can put your arm
recording
down,
with the
and we
cat.
can just go like that, and she'll go.
Okay.
All right. So sorry, folks. We have a newly adopted cat, and she's learning the parameters of mommy's on Zoom.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have to try and respect the family,
Right.
but I'm not going to do it to the point where the child is getting sick from crying.
Correct.
I'm just, I
yeah,
can't.
I'm not doing that. Yeah.
If it gets to a point where your child is now in physical misery,
Yeah.
I
I'm
can't
gonna
do
pick
it.
them up.
Right? But the families need to know, what is that parameter?
Right.
Like, I will let your child cry until we see your child is in great distress.
Right.
Because we're not allowed to leave children in great
Right.
distress in early childhood
Right.
programs. We can say that. We can say, I'm not allowed to leave a child in distress in this program.
Right.
Maybe lean on licensing a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What we need to do as early educators is realize that what we're doing is not necessarily what the families want done, nor is it necessarily what research shows us is
Right.
valuable to young children. And what do we know about trust? It's a basic building block of life.
Right.
And that's why it starts at birth. Maybe even before birth,
Maybe
when they
before
can hear
birth,
the
I
mother's
think.
voice.
Yeah. I think it happens before.
Right?
Yeah.
Even, I mean, think about it. Pets need trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? If pets need trust,
I know.
certainly human babies
Yeah.
do. Human infants.
Yes.
And so in our early childhood programs, you all know, we need to work as quickly as we can to build that trust so that your child will let us care for them without distress.
Yeah.
Because they don't even want us to change a diaper until they trust us.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's a sticky, when it comes
It's
to culture,
sticky.
it's always sticky.
It's sticky.
Whether it agrees with our culture or not, it's a
Right.
sticky thing. Because families' priorities and values are based on their culture.
Yeah.
So think about this, folks, as a strategy. We teach. Our obligation is not only to teach children, but also adults.
Right.
So we teach, right? And we teach about Eric Erikson. You get that information
Right.
from our website or another reputable website, like a psychology website.
Right.
You teach about Eric Erikson, and then we go to families and say, what do you do when your child cries in the crib? What would you prefer we do in this sort of group
Right.
setting?
Yeah.
Keeping in mind that we can't let children stay in distress.
Right.
That's not our job,
Right.
and that's not how we build the trust with your child
Right.
that allows us to care for your child when you're not here.
Yeah.
And maybe try and come up with that middle ground.
Yeah.
And tune in more to the fact that it's not just about our culture, it's about the family's
Yes,
culture.
It is.
Right? All right, folks, we'll let you go ponder that. And you can check our website, howpreschoolteachersdoit.com. Erikson will be there somewhere
Yeah. Somewhere.
in the listener resources.
Yeah.
And we will catch you next time on the podcast, but we hope while you're on the website that you contact us and let us
Yay.
know what you've done.
Yes.
howpreschoolteachersdoit.com or Facebook. Find us.
Or that QR code up there.
Or that QR code that's on YouTube on the
Yeah.
video of today's session right
Yeah.
now, because Allison leaned over
Moved.
and happily the cat realized, all right, they're still working, and she went back to
Yeah,
sleep.
she's
So
like, oh,
Allison can do that.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we'll catch you next time on the podcast.
Bye, peeps.